Okay, let's try this again. Hi, Stacy. I don't know what was going on, but the chat just completely, like, not the chat, but the live just completely disconnected. I'm getting really tired of this platform. I really am. All right, so give everybody else a chance to get back in. And is this public or unlisted? This is public, isn't it? Can you folks tell me whether this is public or not? Is it public, folks? Yes. Okay. Thank you, Seashell. All right. I have no idea what's going on, but YouTube and I are having issues. Oh, I don't even want to talk about YouTube. All righty. I have 3 decks out tonight. Just three. Third time's a charm. Don't say that when I have to start all over again. Heavens to Murgatroyd. Okay. So, oh gosh, my hair's falling out. Hang on. I have to fix this. Just joining the live stream. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. I'm really, really sorry that it bottomed out for some reason. Well, thank you, Mama Dukes. I am okay. Is there any? I gotta make a few announcements. Is there anybody here who is a member of my reading channel? Because as soon as canning season is done, am I here? Yes, you are, darling. Hi, Delphia. I got a notice. Delphia from Illinois. We just got back from the Halifax this afternoon and then spent the afternoon putting our Halloween decorations up. Well, I've only got one Halloween decoration and it's a mug. But I was looking because here, when we have our festive Fridays, I'm going to say that because maybe they're just, maybe they heard the FF and thought, oh, she's doing it, and shut me down. I don't know. I have no idea. But this office is very soon, hopefully before Halloween, going to be transformed. After canning season, I'm going to start reading, probably after Halloween, I'm going to start reading a chapter of Little Women once a week. And we'll discuss we'll discuss it, like maybe what it was like during the Civil War and all that stuff. We'll discuss the chapters and then I will edit the live stream down into a replayable regular video for folks who just want to listen to the story. So I'm going to start that after Halloween. But I also have guys, I'm still a little bit recovering. We also have the seed exchange, and it's raining, and there's why my knees just wouldn't work on me. Hi, Carolyn. Linda Venord, hello. Lola Granola, Candy, Tina, Trudy, Kathy, Carolyn. Oh, the gang is all here. Sure, Stacy, absolutely. Had a very strange dream. Hope for some clarity. Well, don't tell me anymore, okay? And then I'm transforming this office, and hopefully, if I really get guns going under me, I'm hoping to have it transformed by Halloween. So we have the seed exchange coming up, the Seeds of Hope greeting card exchange. We have a special festive Friday with patrons. We're doing it. It's not going to be Friday. We're going to actually do a kind of a festive Friday on Halloween night, which is a Tuesday. right? So after your kids have all been put to bed after eating their candy, patrons, we're going to have some fun. And remember, bring your own candy and come in costume, even if I can't see you. Okay? Okay. I was talking and I wasn't paying attention here. Okay. Okay. Give me a minute. All right. Stacy was first. 1, 2, or 3, Stacy. Do a Teams call or a Zoom call and see each other. The only problem with that is because we listen to music, it would be cut out every time someone spoke, or we would all have to be on earphones, right? I'm not sure how that would work, but we could try it. We could try it. Number 3, the universe. No, this is the Soul's Journeys cards. And this is for Stacy. Whoa, there we go. Stacy, you got 2 cards and they were stuck together. Your first card is right side up and it is friendship. And it asks, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason, right? Because there may be somebody in your life that's unexpected. Maybe they're a friend or you thought they were a friend, but remember, this is what the card is saying to me. Friends, people come and people go, right? A true friendship lasts a lifetime, and I'm blessed to have 2, right? One from kindergarten and one from like grade 7, right? That 2 very, very dear friends, Carolyn and Geraldine. But friends, people come into your life as either a lesson or a blessing, okay? And I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason, but you got to remember all reasons attached to the word friend are not created equal. People come into our lives, they're either a lesson or a blessing. And why I'm saying that is because this next card is judgment, and it's upside down. And I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges, but that's not what we're hearing. That's not what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that somebody that you thought had your back has been very judgmental with you. And that's not cool, right? So you need to realize maybe this person's a lesson and a blessing in disguise. Their judgment. Maybe it's making you look deeper into yourself rather than taking it as a hurtful thing. Look at where it's coming from, who it's coming from, and what can you learn from it, right? But a friend is in your life for a reason. That was for you, Stacy. I hope that makes sense. Hey, Manette, how are you, darling? Okay, who was next? Does anybody? Hey, Kathy. Did it make sense to you? Because sometimes the cards, you think they sound right but what's behind them sometimes is completely something else. Robin's Nest. Okay. Gotta shuffle the cards quite literally. Okay. Robin's Nest. 1, 2, or 3. Do I know what crows mean? That depends. That depends. They have many meanings. But they are one of my spiritual birds. Like I identify a lot with birds. Okay, here's where I go. Number 2, you got the same deck, Robin's Nest. I identify, you see my ears? I don't identify with cats. I identify with the bear. And my spirit guide, now we all have 2 of them, right? We all have a land animal and an air animal. Sometimes we're really lucky and we have a water creature as well, and not thus covering the elements. But my spirit guide is the crow / raven, that family, the blackbird family. And my spirit animal is a bear. So crows to me represent, okay, I got to think about this, because we, on the side of the road, for me, if I see one on the side of the road, and I always salute them, if I see one on the side of the road when we're driving, we're okay. If one flies across the highway, no matter how high, it's slow down, there's something ahead, right? If we've had them fly right along with us for like a kilometer, right? And so, and I have one that comes around all the time, go rah, ah, up in the air, and I go, hi, Pa. You'll hear me say it sometimes. So crows to me, some people will see them as harbingers of darkness, but they are messenger birds. They are this crow you're talking about, I feel like you're being spied on. But if you talk to it, it will, they're really, really intelligent. They're really, really intelligent birds. But I always see a crow as a protective spirit for me, right? All right. Robin's Nest. Oh, there we go. Flipped right over to the top of the deck. Robin's Nest, your card was peace. I am a being of love, and I release all negative energy. And what I'm hearing is you've been really getting good at releasing the negative energy. See, we have a tendency to hold on, as we have been taught to, revenge, resentment, right? Remorse. We have been taught that, everything has consequences, which it does. Everything we do, everything we think, everything we say, every interaction we have has consequences, but it also has a path. And you have been on the path to peace for some time. And you're starting to tap into what makes it click. Does that make sense? Because you recognize that you're a light being of love. And the more you accept that you are a light being of love, the better, the more at peace you get. Does that make sense for you? Attack a car, and then one flung itself into the windshield. It was like something out of the Birds. This was about 10 years ago. Really? They must have really wanted to stop that car. Really? Do you know what? I've had that dream, Stacy. I'll tell you something, and I have a picture of it somewhere. Because are you up for a story? Robin's Nest, I want to know if that made any sense to you. Hey, Waldo! Where's Waldo? Oh, awesome. Awesome, Robin's Nest. That's great. That's what I've got the feeling is like you've been really like making inroads into your self-love. Self-love is not narcissism. True self-love is loving yourself enough to recognize the right decisions for you and for everyone around you, right? Hey, Chanel 25. Story time. Okay. I have a terror of flying. And Howie and I used to go to Arizona. We had a mobile home in Arizona that we would visit 3-4 times a year. 2 long weekends, 2 or 3, extended weekends, and a 1-2 week vacation a year. And it was a really expensive thing to keep up when you don't use it all the time, right? It's not like it was 2 hours down the road. But anyway, we miss Phoenix. Well, Peoria. Anyway, I had a real terror of flying. And the first time we took Briar on a plane, I sat with him because he was like, oh my God, oh my God. And then he'd go, oh, this is really cool. And then he'd realize he was thousands of feet in the air and he'd go, oh my God, oh my God. And I understood it. And I just sat there and I rubbed his back. And I said, you know what? You're safer in a plane than you are in a car. Trust me. Right. And so he got through it. Right. But when we hit Arizona, I had a dream. And falling dreams are really, really telling. Okay. I had a dream that I fell out of the plane and that I was fighting and screaming and kicking as I fell. And all of a sudden, because there's terror. Honestly, though, what are you going to grab? What are you fighting? Right? There's nothing to do. Right? So I'm like having a panic attack. And all of a sudden, I feel a being lay its body across over my back, right up behind me. And if you know how you can see things without actually stepping back and seeing them, you can see the whole picture in your dream. This being was neither man nor woman, had long, beautiful hair, right? And was dressed in white somehow. I didn't get to see, but they laid themselves along my back and they wrapped their arms under my arms and around my chest. And I was panicking. That's right. I was panicking and I'm flailing in the sky because this was a few years ago, probably 10 or so years ago, flailing and screaming. And then I realized that's when I was saying, there's nothing to grab onto. There's anger, pain, screaming, terror is not going to save you. So accept it. And I went, and I let go of everything. And I accepted that I was going to die. And that's when this being molded itself to me from behind, wrapped its arms around me, and put me on the ground. And I got it. I got it. Acceptance for things beyond my control is the key to my peace, my serenity. So the strongest person in the world is the person who can face anything and say, it is what it is. Because they've mastered the art of acceptance, right? But I wrote this down in a long email somewhere. It's long gone. But the moment I accepted that I had no control over what was going to happen, I was delivered, right? So we get home, right? And I'm feeding baby goats and stuff. And someone took a picture of me. Well, some of you have seen the picture, right? Or some of you have seen the video of me got 5 baby goats. 3 I'm feeding with bottles, 3 white ones. And the other 2, Clover and Blossom, are jumping all over my back and trying to get my attention and all that stuff. And I took a still shot. And in the orbs or dust or whatever you want to call it in the barn was my angel's face and hair. And I outlined it with the mouse. I saw it again. And it was like, it wasn't a dream. Right? I was given that experience because I had not learned to accept anything. Right? So, yeah, it is an awesome affirmation. Hey, it's got to be Kadeen, Debbie Nave. I used to live in Arizona for a while. I loved it, but I learned a lot about coyotes, how the illegals are treated, and who are extremely hardworking. I know the skies are so beautiful there. One thing I wasn't that fussy on Arizona. I mean, it was fine, right? But I would have preferred, say, Florida, right? However, my joints, my fibro loved Arizona. I could have air conditioning on all the time and my legs wouldn't swell. Why? Because it was so dry that the air conditioning made the air normal inside. And when I was outside, I was motoring. You know what I mean? Hi, Trish. Are you having trouble with the chat, sweetheart? So somebody was talking about a dream they had where they were falling and they were set down on the ground. Okay. I just wanted to share my dream, my falling dream. Like we've all had, we wake up because we think we're falling, right? Not that. This was a really clear dream. I fell out of a plane. You know what I mean? You had trouble logging on? Hi, Wildfire. Well, we had to have two. We had it for some reason it disconnected in the first. It disconnected in the first live stream, and I had to redo it. I would love to be in a drier area, but cannot handle the heat. You know what, Doris? The heat, I know most Arizonians come to Canada for the summer, and we go there for the winter. And it's no wonder that there's so many Arizona people that get together with people in Canada, because it's like a flip-flop. I'll see you in the winter. I'll see you in the summer. We never stayed around long enough. But I mean, the guy that ran, the husband and wife that ran our park, he said, how he said, I'd move here in a heartbeat. And he said, do it. And he said, I can't. He said, I can't work here. He said, yes, you can. He said, people do it all the time. He said, I know several body shops that would just love you. Right. And Howie's like, you know, I said, but if you get caught, Howie, we are kicked out of the United States forever and ever and ever. So, because we thought it would be wonderful to work 6 months down here and work 6 months up there, but they'd have to prove. Now he goes to school. When he was doing BMW, he would go to school in Michigan and New Jersey, and I think one was in what's the nice Scottsdale area. You have to keep shutting the live off and coming back in to get in the chat to get the chat to work. Really? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I lived in the good area and don't feel safe at all. It was nice, but it's just not safe anywhere there. I feel safer in Canada for some reason. Well, Jennifer, you know the stories. Howie wouldn't let me drive in Arizona until I got my road rage under control. And we had that mobile home for 3 years. So, hey, Carolyn Donovan, how's it going? Well, it's good to see you too, sweetie. Thank you for the pumpkin. I bought a pumpkin mug today, but patrons are going to get the first seat to see of it. My first time on Freaky Friday. What, tonight? You see, when you guys become patrons, please tell me your YouTube names, because I get people coming in and I can, A, I'm not sure if you're new. B, I may not recognize you because your name may be different on YouTube than it is on your patrons subscriptions. So hello. Today I had a great day with my son. We went on an adventure, and while we were out adventuring, I found my very first chanterelle mushrooms. It was pretty exciting. I measured the top. It was 8 inches wide. Wow. YouTube just jumped all my lives back 2 minutes. What? That's as mad as I can get. I mean, you know, I was out with Briar today, and he was telling me something, and I just was kind of like, I don't talk with my kids about certain things. There's just certain things I can't talk to my kids about. And I wasn't thinking. And I said, that doesn't work, right? Like I was just really quiet. I said, that doesn't work, right? And he went, blah, 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 and you jump on me. I said, no, honey, I didn't. Because you see, I've learned to be really calm, right? Especially when talking to my children about sensitive matters. And they're not children, they're grown ass adults. Trust me. And I said, I'm just saying. He said, well, it does the job for what it does. I said, well, yeah, spit maybe, but not, not these, right? It doesn't work for that, right? Anyway, so I didn't bother to go say that the he did is only 50% effective too, right? So I didn't bother. I just went, okay. I said, just let you know, I did not raise my voice to you. I just made a comment. And so anyway, he thought about it and went back into his shell for a couple of minutes, and then he came out and he finished the story. And then by the end, I took him shopping and we had a great time. We always do. And you should have seen the cart died at the checkout. My electric cart died because I needed it today. My electric cart died at the checkout. So I said, give me a pull, because if he pulls it, I can maybe get it going, but it wouldn't. And he pulled that cart at a dead run, holding on to the basket, all the faster than that cart would ever go on its own, all the way to the thing. And I said, go back. Our groceries are all over the place, right? But we have our fun, right? And and we get out to the truck, and I take him home, and he gets his water and everything, and he looks at me and he says, I'm sorry I snapped at you, Mom. Said, it's all good, baby. There's a huge difference in me and how I handle things these days. I am much less triggered. I don't get triggered very easily anymore. Bev, I have been canning. I've done 50 pounds of mushrooms. Wow. 50 pound of carrot, freeze-dried 50 pound of onions, and turned half of those into onion powder, freeze-dried garlic, powdered that garlic. Wow. And a bushel of green beans, and I have potatoes that I'm working on now, 50 pound. I got a lot of work to do, and it seems the more you have, the more you got to do. But I love canning and freeze-drying. Well, God bless you, honey. Muriel, how's it going? Oh no, it's not that he's camera shy. I learned a really valuable lesson with my sons. Don't take their picture and post it on the internet without their permission. And it's something that simple. And I never understood it until the grandbaby came. And it's like, right. You're abusing a trust by posting pictures of a minor on the internet without their consent. Now, I mean, he's been on video a couple of times, right? When he was younger. But I learned the hard way that I don't take my kids' I can take their pictures. I'm just now getting them to trust the fact that I can take their pictures and I won't put them on the internet, right? I knew a Maggie Bank. Sweet lady, I miss her. Oh, what did I miss? Who would be spying on me? What are we talking about? You get nowhere screaming and yelling. Calm is better. Worked in an ER. Yeah, Robin, got it. Hi, Charlene. How are you? We here, I think, are like real, not fake. Right. Well, I mean, we can't even call people fake, because do you honestly think they know that they know that? Like, let's get, I used to just hate fake people. And I started to realize that people don't realize that they're fake. They're just trying to be somebody of notice. They're just trying to fit in. They're just trying to get more clicks. They're just trying, and we can't berate them for that, because they don't even understand it's happening, really, if you think about it. One of the hardest things I had to do is watch myself come out of a shell on video. and watch myself look like I'm a crazy person. I don't know. I've been on here for 14 years as of last month. And there's a lot of people out there who've been with me almost that long and have watched me grow up into the woman I am. Just because I'm 59 years old or was 40 some years old when I started on this path doesn't mean doesn't mean I didn't have growing to do. We never stop growing. We never stop learning. Only when we die. Aces! Hey! The Dashians. Well, I mean, look at the environment. And then you can't blame the parents because kids don't come with manuals. Gotta watch Bubba today. Oh, he was so funny. He's so funny. I got on the phone. I said, "Hi, my baby boy." And he goes, he doesn't do this, but he goes, "Hey," you know, and then he's got to take off and do stuff, right? He comes back and plays patty cake and dances for a song, but he's a busy boy. He's getting up and he's walking a couple of steps. And if he feels he's losing his balance, he goes down into a squat. He doesn't sit. He goes down into a squat until he finds his center of gravity again. The kid's brilliant, right? And she said, Mel said, it's amazing to watch how fast he's learning. I said, think about this, though. For the first 6 months, they've been doing nothing but observing the world from a brand new, clean slate. And believe you me, they start working shit out long before they start trying it out, right? They look there and, geez, if I could just do that. How do I do that? I better learn to roll over first. And I mean, that's not the thought process. It's very more basic than that. You can't even put it into words because they don't have words yet. But they're observing. For the first 5 years of a child's life, they're like sponges. Sponges. Oh, yeah, of course I'm a proud grandma. And it's not Grandy anymore. I'm either Granny or Grammy, depending on the day. Well, I got 30 pounds of onions today. I knew I should have gotten 60, but they were $4.88 a bag. Now, listen to this. Last year, when the 10-pound onion bags of onions were on sale in that store, they were $2.49. And I went, oh, that's expensive, but I better get them, right? Well, this is the first time I've seen 10-pound bags of onions on sale, and they were $4.88. They were almost doubled in price, from $2.49 on sale last year to $4.88. It's just nuts. So yeah, I'm gonna throw some itty bitty carrots to the deer. But I don't care if I have to buy 4 more bags to get decent sized carrots and then give the rest to the deer. I don't care. We throw stuff to the animals all the time. Apple peels and stuff. I went to an early childhood conference. Hi, Laura. Last weekend, all play based, phenomenal. Play is the only way. Oh, absolutely. That's like, Mel was checking his diaper. And so she put the phone down and he's looking at me. He's lying on his back and he's looking at me. And he went, hi. And I heard hi. I said, hi. And he goes, hey. And I said, hey. Right? And he goes, I said, how you doing? I'm good. How are you? And it's like, yeah, I know we're not having a conversation, but he's making sounds very close to words. And if I confirm that he's on the right track, if we confirm they're on the right track, you should see us play I'm awesome at patty cake. So she was saying, okay, watch him play patty cake. So I got playing patty cake and then I went pat it and I went roll it and he did it. And she went, wow. And I said, I said, mark it with, B, put it in the oven for baby and me. That's not the way I sing it, and I go, and we'll toss in a pie. And he went, and I went, yeah, toss in a pie. And he's like, cool. Being a grandma is a totally different thing than being a mom. Totally, totally different. You've heard me say it's a whole new layer to the love onion. My grandson's speech therapist says that is the way to do it. Well, I used to look after kids. I used to look after kids a lot. I've been looking after kids since I was 9 years old. I was 9 the first time I babysat. 9. Just after my mom died. 9. And I did it more than once. Now, yes, the one I was babysitting my niece and she was in bed and it was a duplex and my sister and her husband and kids slept in the downstairs. So all I had to do, if anything was wrong, was run down the stairs. And one was 2 doors down. 4 houses down from where we lived at my cousin's house, and I babysat her boy. So I learned a lot from kids, looking after other people's kids, because I babysat too. When Howie and I were first together, I babysat for a long time. I babysat when we moved to Colburn, right? And kids respond more when you give them the respect to talk to them like they know what you're saying. Nobody, and I wish I'd known this with my kids. Children don't see fear in a parent's face. When a parent says, when a kid's like 5 years old, right? 4 or 5 years old, and you go, don't ever do that again. Do you realize you could have died? Do you realize they don't see the fear? They hear the elevated voice and they have it almost perfect. You know what we say? The 2 true emotions are love and fear, right? Well, love is positive, fear is negative. All negative emotions stem from fear. So the kid doesn't see fear. They hear an elevated voice and they see negative emotion. They don't see fear. They're not capable of distinguishing fear from anger, right? And that's why, if you think that somebody your child has been touched by somebody or bullied by somebody and they're really little, you don't go, did they do that to you? You go, hey, baby, what's going on? You okay? Because they see love and openness. But our problem is that the fear shows on our faces as parents. And they go, nope, right? The saddest is seeing children who were born during the they were put in containers and every skill is severely delayed. Oh yeah, I bet. Socialization is so important. So important. I mean, Bubba goes swimming with his mom, and I cried for the kids that were little kids in grade 2 and stuff that were sitting in a corner trying to do their homework on a laptop. It's like, this is not the way children are supposed to learn. And they're not learning, and they haven't been for years. They haven't been learning the right stuff, right? When I was a kid, it was reading, writing, arithmetic, behavior in the class, what was acceptable and what was unacceptable. Unfortunately, at my school, they saw something different in me when I was a kid. Because by the time I was in grade 6, I was volunteering in the library one afternoon a week, grade 5 and 6. And kindergarten teachers, there always had to be 2. And if one was sick, they would send me down to be with the other kindergarten teacher just to help with the kids. So I don't know why that was. Maybe they just saw, this is the school though, remember, and the time around when I got heavy metal poisoning. I wasn't poisoned to the fact where it was making me sick, but I was hyper and I was just easily distracted, and very much like today. And they did something different with me. They put me somewhere so I was pushed through, yes, but they put me in places where they knew I would be comfortable. I was comfortable amongst books. and I was comfortable among kids, right? Not only that, parents were severely stressed with no access to their usual resources, a terrible tragedy for our youngest children who couldn't help themselves. Where's Tom? Who's Tom? Hey, freaky geek! You're only a slacker if you never wear skirts or dresses, just slacks. I wore slacks today, or leggings, and I'm back in my comfy skirt. I am going to be... Hello, Tom from Oregon. Can you do me a favor and say hello to my husband, Tom? He's sitting here watching you with me as well. It's his first time to be mentioned in your chat. Hello, Tom. How are you? Great. Tom's a great name. It can be Thomas. It can be Tommy. I had a cousin, Tommy. God rest his soul. I think he was like 19 or 21 when he died. He drowned. So, God, that was sad. Hi, Tom. Welcome to the chat. I'm trying to teach the right stuff. It's challenging homeschooling, but I know it's the right thing. You just gotta, if you have to, go into the bathroom and scream into a towel occasionally. You say, oh, okay, just sit there and do the best you can. This is what kids need to hear, right? They don't need trophies for coming in last place. That's for sure, because that devalues the winner. I'm sorry. I don't believe in giving trophies just for showing up. But you know, the best you can do with your kids is to not put pressure on them to learn if you're homeschooling. Now I'm taking this, you know, in hindsight, because I couldn't homeschool my kids. I probably would have killed them. Okay. But the most thing you should really focus on is encouraging the smallest step forward and encouraging them that every step forward is a milestone and something to be celebrated and to do the best they can, right? I learned that from Laura Ingalls and her mom, okay? Because that kid was like slacking off, and he was really smart and he was bored, but he was slacking off. But once he found out that Laura was not only their teacher, but she was keeping up with her studies so she could go to school when she got back home. And when the other kids that were 2 years younger than him were getting it, she'd just say, okay, you just do the best you can. Would this be too much? And then all of a sudden he starts going, oh, wait a second. She's working a full-time job teaching us, plus keeping up with her studies for school at home. And these two are ahead of me. So in one night he went home and got himself all caught up and said, you can test me with the rest of the kids. The whole point is to not put pressure on to learn, but to put joy into learning and all its smallest accomplishments, right? I can't homeschool. I'm dumber than me. And I speaks even less. Oh, stop it, freaky. Hubby always walks by and says hi. Or are you watching that lady from Canada? What's his name, Kathy? Come on, let's shout out the husbands and wives tonight. Doris is Josh, right? Charlene Bev, you are correct on the homeschooling. Exactly what you were saying is how I tutored my kids, and the parents ended up pulling the kids out of school so I could tutor them. Wow. It also frustrates the kids who get the participation awards. Mine was the first generation to get those. Yeah, see, when we had participation, this is how old I am. We had participation, and you got these badges, and you got bronze, gold, or bronze, silver, and gold. And then there was one, say, overall person out of the whole participation, the flexed arm hang, the standing long jump, all of these things. I could never do the flexed arm hang because you had to pull yourself up and hold, and I could not pull myself up. I've never had upper body strength, ever, unless it's in a punch, literally. And probably why I have arthritis in my hands, because there's some walls out there with dents in them. But I don't even think I got a bronze. This flexed arm hang, I had to be at the bar standing on a chair and then say, okay. And they pull the chair out from under me. But I could not pull myself up. And the thing is we fought hard to the best of our abilities. And everybody was like, wow, that was really friggin' hard. But you know what? We also celebrated the winners. I think I did get a bronze badge. I did get a bronze badge in grade 7, not in grade 8. So, I mean, hey, Corey, how are you, darling? Couple of lockers have some of my knuckles. I'm so happy I never got to use my kids being used to my kids being gone all day. You know what? When Briar was a baby, Arthur was gone to school no, he was in kindergarten. And that's another thing. Arthur loved school, always loved school. He did school so well, right? So when we moved from Peterborough to Colborne, I actually pulled Arthur out of school, and because he was in junior kindergarten, and his teacher, we had a huge snowstorm. So this is winter of 92. Yeah, winter of 92. And it's November, December, first week of December. And I'm 7 months pregnant with Briar. And I go to, the parents were invited to see how the teacher worked, right? And this teacher was really weird. They couldn't bring drink boxes. They couldn't bring snacks from home unless it was just fruit. They couldn't bring anything to drink. And it was like, and they said, blah, 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 blah. We give them that. I said, excuse me? I said, what my son brings to school is healthier than anything you're going to give him. Right? Because I would make him these granola bar cookies that he just thought were cookies. Right? Anyway, so I went to the school, driving old Yeller, our old Chrysler K-car wagon. It was kind of butter colored with a white hood. And we weren't far from the school. But I watched the teacher, and all the kids were sitting down, and Arthur was right up front because he really loved story time. And she read a story and stuff. And there were other kids around my son that were fidgeting. And she looked at Arthur and said, stop it. And I looked at her, and it was because Arthur's focus was on the teacher. When she looked up and saw the fidgeting, her focus went right on him. Turns out she had to retire, had a nervous breakdown, and retired not long after that. But there was this huge snowstorm, right? There was this huge snowstorm. And his time in those first few months of junior kindergarten were not necessarily good, right? That wasn't a positive experience. So when we moved in February, I decided I wasn't sending him back to kindergarten. I was going to take the move as a fresh start and start him on in kindergarten so that he would have time to get over the move and forget about the old school and start afresh. And so I phoned the school, and because Arthur said, am I going to school? And I went, do you want to go to school? He said, yes. So I phoned the local school, which was South Crammy in Crammy Township. And now this is a school. Okay. I had a newborn baby. Okay. This was in the spring. It was after the snow and everything. It was in the spring, but like Briar was born in February. Arthur wait a minute. Yeah, it was. Briar was born in February, and this was like March, April. So I phoned the school, and I asked them, could we come in? They said, sure, right? So I brought Briar in. He's in my arms. And Arthur, and I was registering Arthur, and the principal walked up. I was sitting down registering with the secretary, and the principal walked up, introduced himself. God forgive me for not remembering his name. I think it was Mr. Brown. And he said, well, who do we have here? And he was looking at Arthur, and he said, are you going to come to school? And he said, yes. And he said, would you like to see the school? And he said, yes, please. And the principal said, no, you sit down. And the secretary took Briar out of my arms while I filled out the paperwork, and the principal walked all over the school with Arthur and showed him, because it wasn't a big school. And when he came back, he said, "You got a lovely son there." He said, "And I'll see you tomorrow." And Arthur said, "Yes, please." And that was it. The buses were arranged. And Arthur loved school. Absolutely loved it. He was not one of those kids who made excuses not to go. Briar, he missed the bus all the time. Briar liked school too. But for him, it was a totally social thing. Corey C, Red Lobster, Endless Shrimp. Do they have deep fried or deep like breaded or deep beer battered shrimp? What's this, Aces? Hey, AM Art Spot. Yeah, I got one in middle school, junior high. I hated it because I genuinely did well in just about every subject, so I would get actual awards, so I knew the difference. Yeah, exactly. Dropped out halfway through grade 9 in 2014. They changed I gave myself 2 weeks with a failed filling in my tooth. I still passed math. I went back to school because I couldn't understand math beyond adding and subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. So I went back for an entire summer to the McDonald Street campus, Sir Sanford Fleming McDonald Street campus, in an upgrading course. And I did a test, and they said, "Okay, we're going to start you at grade 9, general level math." And by the end of the summer, when I was just about done, I had gotten halfway through grade 11 advanced. But, because once math clicks, you got to be able to see it. Like my brother-in-law tried to teach me, Bev, he tried to teach me algebra. What do you have when you have 2 apples and 2 oranges? I said, "You have 4 pieces of fruit." He said, "No, you have 2 apples and 2 oranges." I never understood that. And this was one of those setups where you take out a file, and they're all numbered all the way up through the grade, and you work through it, and there's just a teacher walking around the room. Everybody was doing different levels of math, but there was one teacher walking around the room, and if you needed help, you just raised your hand, and he'd come over and he'd explain it to you. And when you felt comfortable working your way through the module, it was called a module, then you went and you signed up for the test. And once I figured out 2 apples and 2 oranges, 2A and 2B, it clicked in my head. And I went through trigonometry and everything. Boom, right? Now I see that I don't need algebra for much of anything in my life. And adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, fractions and percentages, I'm really good at. So we know. Ho, ho, ho! No. Oh, it's not Freaky Friday. And I'll tell you something, folks. We got to go because it's time for Freaky Friday. If you don't know what Freaky Friday is, okay, Festivus Friday. Festival Friday is where patrons and I get together and these lights go off and the disco lights and the music comes on and we cut a rug and we cut loose and we just hang. Yes, Doris, you are. But you know what? Work around the system. Don't butt your head against the wall. Look for a way around it. That's all I can say. Anyway, I went to the Patreon link, but there is no link when you get there. Hang on a second, sweetie. Hang on a second. Oh, wait a minute. Are you saying, Becky, I can't see the chat. Hang on. Are you saying you went to where I posted that it would be at 9:00? That's because that's not the actual link to get in. I'm about to put that link right now. Folks, I love you. God, please help us get, these are really crazy times. And I hope that we can all fill ourselves with light and love and not be distracted by everything else. Pray for everything else that's going on in the world, but don't let it distract you from what's right in front of you, and that's your life and your country and your rights, okay? So please, go in peace, go in the light of God's love, and know that I love you and I don't have to see you to love you because my heart does. Take care. God bless.